2 nights without a minute to shut eye, and your book changed my life, mister. I'm just glad I got a chance to tell you that. You cleared up a bunch of stuff that's bothered me for years. You took something that had been inside me and you put it into words so I could feel, I don't know, not so weird, feel sort of like understood. You might say, that was me you put in that book of yours, mister. That was my life you wrote about there. And I just want to say thanks. And just remember, any time you're ever in Big Junction, Wyoming, you got a friend there named Jim Earl Wilcox. But instead of saying that, he says, you wouldn't know where the little boy's room is, would you? As if I were a library employee and not a book author. So, it's clear to me that when people read my books, they like me a little less at the end than they did at the beginning. And my 4th book, Company A, Charge! Is evidently the worst. Nobody bought that book at all. Well, I know what it's like to be disappointed by a hero. You think I don't know? Believe me, I know. I met my idol, Smokey W. Kaiser, when I was 12 years old. I'd read every one of his books twice. The Curly Bob and the Lefty Slim series, the Lazy A Gang series, the Powder River Hank series. And I'd waited outside the YMCA in Des Moines for 3 hours, while he was inside regaling the Rotary with humorous anecdotes. And when he emerged at the side door, a fat man in tight green pants tucked into silver-studded boots, he looked down at me, and he said, I don't sign pieces of paper, kid. I sign books. No paper. You want my autograph, you can buy a book. That's a rule of mine. Don't waste my time, and I won't waste yours. Smokey's problem was that he was a jerk, but my problem is that I get halfway through writing a book, and everything just goes to pieces. For example, in Wagons Westward, the pioneers reached Council Bluffs, having endured 200 solid pages of Indian attack, smallpox, cattle stampedes, thirst, terror, bitter backbiting, scattered outbreaks of atheism, and a certain amount of adulterous inclinations, and then they sit there on the bluffs and they have a meeting to decide whether they really want to forge onward to Oregon, or whether maybe they should head east toward Oak Park or Evanston instead. And Buck Bradley, the hero, the big, tall, taciturn, sandy-haired, God-fearing man who's led them through all the rough stuff, stands up there, and he says, well, it's up to the rest of you. Makes no never mind to yours truly. I could go either way and be happy. West, south, you name it. I don't need to go west or anything. You choose. I'll go along whatever you want. I don't know. I wrote that scene the way I heard it in my head, but now I look at it in print, and it looks dumb to me, and I can sure see why it would disappoint a reader. The same as in, Get up, beauty, come on, big girl, away! When Buck rides 2,000 miles across the blazing deserts, searching for Julianne, and finally, after he kills 20 men, he wears out 3 mounts, he survives 2 avalanches, a prairie fire, a blizzard, a passel of varmints, he finds her held captive by the bloodthirsty Arapaho. So, how you doing? He asks her when he finds her. Oh, all right, I guess, she says, gazing up at him, wiping the sweat from her brow. You want to come in for a cup of coffee, she says. Nah, I just wanted to make sure you were okay. You look okay. Yeah, she says. I lost some weight, about 20 pounds. Oh, really? How? Eating toads and grasshoppers. Uh-huh. Well, now that I look at you, you do look lighter. You sure you won't have coffee? Nah, I got a ride on. Be seeing you now, Julianne. Okay, bye. To me, it seemed more realistic, written that way, but maybe to the guy reader it sounded sort of unfocused or something. I don't know. Guys have always been a tough audience for me. The other day, a guy grabbed my arm. I was sitting there in the Quad County Library, and he said, Hey, Dusty Pages, is that right? Am I right or am I right? Both, I said. Mister, he said, your book saved my life. My brother gave it to me, and he said, Buck, read this sometime when you're sober, and I put it in my pocket, and I didn't think about it until October. I was elk hunting up in the big coulee country, other side of the Little Crazy River, and suddenly, wham! It felt like somebody swung a bat and hit me in the left nipple. I fell over.
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.